It's the yellow Terran player, Semper.
In the top left as the teal Terran, it's Beastyqt.
So I've been trying to figure out what rep Meast is, and it's like if you rearrange some of the letters, you do get Semper, but then there's like an AT extra.
Yeah, you know, me and Tempo were trying to figure that one out. It was like T is for Terran, so that explains the extra T. And then otherwise, I don't know why he put A there.
AT just... Semper, awesome Terran Semper, nailed it.
Yeah, there you go. So it's Semper. Semper. This is funny. That's funny. We do have double racks going on for Beastyqt. Of course, Reaper openers, pretty darn effective. They were effective in Heart of the Swarm, and they're very effective in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, the Reaper actually, so here's the dynamic of it, right? Like, even if you just 1v1 another Reaper in the middle of the map, the grenade, that new ability, the knockback is cool and it's cute and all that, but really just that 10 extra damage it deals is like a Reaper getting an additional 2 shots off. So you can really get ahead quickly. It's something, too, where if you do spiral out of control with them, it's even worse thanks to that grenade ability, but I don't know. We'll see if this gets too far out of hand. I feel like right now it's so unexpected, and a lot of folks just haven't had enough experience dealing with it that everyone's like, what the fuck? How do I... what? But, Semper's actually going for Marine.
Yeah, no, he's going for Reaper. Okay.
Okay, sight.
Egg on your face. As you always tell me.
Ah, I hate eggs.
Well,
I'm
in the hands of
allergic.
true master, like Rifkin, you know, the master of Reapers, that all is true.
Yo, you're saying that kind of like sarcastically so people won't believe you.
No, I'm not. You're pretty good at Reapers.
Again, like, kills my Reapers, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, because you're an abusive son of a...
Yeah, it's like, Zargo and I are like the polar opposites, which make us amazing when it comes to Archon mode.
It's perfect! Well, this Reaper is probably a good... it's like, if he has a Marine, if he has a Reaper, both are okay, because you still, you're going to have double the amount of whatever they have, so... I mean, the Reaper just makes it a little bit awkward because it could go across the map and you could totally just, like, miss out on each other, but the chances of, you know, cleaning up one Reaper is always easier than the 2, and then 4 Reapers you're going to be expecting yourself. Oh, but the opposite happens! Oh, did not expect this. Such a big map and, you know, not proxied means that the one Reaper Beastyqt is the first one to die, not Semper.
Well, BC also didn't over-dedicate to this. Like, he did go for 2 racks Reaper, but not more than a couple of Reapers. As far as dealing with the Hellion, if he gets the grenade down in time, you can still hit the Hellion with it. You do a lot of damage. Knock everything around. As you see, the Hellion doesn't heal, so that takes it out pretty quick. I think one of the big things about that grenade that I really love is, well, it's only about 1 second, not even. It's probably like half a second. You're in the air, you can't attack, you're basically crowd controlled inadvertently. It's a really cool mechanic. I like the new grenade quite a bit, but trying to run away, sadly not quick enough with his fingers, not good enough for predicting the shots, and sadly Beasty's gonna come back to the main, and there's not a whole hell of a lot behind this.
Enough Marine. Is that intentional? Put it over the wall? I can't tell. Oh my god, that Reaper died in midair. I got like, blasted in the face and exploded.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's worth noting, too, the track record for this guy is BC and Semper, I believe the last time they fought was, if it wasn't the most recent Lycan League, it was like the second most recent Lycan League, but BC does have the, I think, winning track record over Semper.
No. No?
No?
Yeah. I don't remember, because Semper got to the finals, and I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the, because it wasn't that one, it was the other one, right?
Oh, there wasn't. Okay, that's where I wasn't sure.
I could be misremembering as well. I've been sick the past week, so I'm not a good point of reference for this, but I'm pretty sure that they fought each other. I'm not going crazy on that part. Maybe it just wasn't that recent.
They definitely did, yeah. Just that Semper won the last time they fought, but TVT, it did change with the patch. The Cyclone used to be the opener that you would do well against anything and everything. Now it's back to Banshee openers versus, like, you know, Marine drops, or in this case tank drops. Kind of the same looking dealio until you can pick up those tanks.
Big shout out, by the way, to Salmon JTV. It looks like it says Salmon. I'm probably saying that wrong 9 times wrong anyways, but Salmon JTV, thank you for subscribing to the channel.
Wait, have they played, or am I looking this up wrong? I looked it up on the League Semper, I'm spelling it right. Last time they played was in the SC2 Improved League, according to the League Lab.
Does the League like track Legacy of the Void stuff?
It does, because it has like Desros, but...
Oh. Maybe I'm completely ridiculous then. I swear to
I thought
God
they
I thought
played
these
too.
two played. Yeah.
And I thought it was like a 2-1 in favor of Semper last time, but...
If we weren't like 7 weeks behind on VODs, I would go look this up, just like Control F on YouTube, really easy, but sadly we are really behind on VODs because I've been sick and so is Chakas.
Yeah, I think we might just be crazy then, I don't know.
Okay, well either way, Semper's a really good player, and what I have liked is we've seen him just straight up with a better track record in Legacy of the Void than he's had in Heart of the Swarm. Honestly, he's like a mediocre North American player for Heart of the Swarm. You don't really expect a lot out of him, but he's, as you mentioned before, got to the finals. He's gotten far in a lot of these Legacy of the Void beta tournaments. Maybe he's just someone who's good at taking advantage of the beta when no one else has, or maybe he's actually just better in the beta. Either way, I expect a lot more of a better matchup out of these two, because any other situation, I think Beasty's the clear favorite.
I don't know.
Even going off of bets, actually, it's like, what's 6,522 on Beasty and about 4,050 on Semper. So even crowd opinion saying they're not looking too bad.
I don't know, really, because like Semper, I don't see him enough in Heart of the Swarm, honestly. So I just, you know, I thought the same thing. That's who it was. Okay, it was QXC who I was thinking of, not Beastyqt. They kind of sound the same, like rhyme, right? That he took down 2-1 in the last Lycan League, and I was like, well, I think in Heart of the Swarm, QXC would be the better player. Yeah,
That'd be the best Archon.
Yeah, they should be Archon buddies. Anyways, I thought QXC would definitely be the better TVT, and, you know, TVT in its essence hasn't changed. Like, it's about tanks and Marines and, you know, mech versus bio, but those tank drops, man, like, you can make the world a difference by having good tank drops or having the Viking control, which was always important, or could be important, is now sometimes, like, the decision maker and, like, how you play the game. Can I go into medevac drops or can I? Because you have 4 Vikings and I have none.
Well, let's move out of Beasties a little bit. I'd say worrisome. It might catch the Banshees, though, depending on if these cross paths or not. That'd be really nice, of course, if he catch that and doesn't worry about going home to defend.
Yep. Both players going into 3rd CC and double engineering base, both going for Marine tank. This is where the question comes up, where like, okay, Beastyqt, technically I think he has the Viking control because it's 2-1 Viking, like big deal, right? But if either player decides to go for that, then they're going to shut down the other person's tank medevac drops, which can be very important. But this is awkward. It's something you can only do on Ruins of Saras, where the natural is huge.
He's gonna walk right in. That's really cute use of the Marine, by the way. Very important that he did that, sending the Marines forward like that so the tanks would shoot them instead of the other tanks. Now Beasty actually has 2 tanks still standing. Might not seem like the biggest of deals, but it was a pretty big deal. Now the medevac's gonna move the tanks around. Gonna be really hard to deal with. Picks off one of the engineering base. Not the biggest deal in the world, but of course, if he can get those reactors, it'd be really nice. Marines going down though. Banshee falls, and this is the end of Beasty's attack.
Yeah. Nice control on the tanks towards the end. They were 1 shot away from death, and he saves them. But he did lose an engineering bay. That's going to play a big part, as they both went for double. And now he's just entirely behind on the armor, it looks like. Well, Semper... I guess it was Semper that had the... I guess I get my colors mixed up. Semper had the 2 Vikings, so technically he still has the air control. But Beastyqt, if he decides that he wants it, can easily get it, the reactor. It's a huge map, though, and TVT is already, you know, it was already about getting a couple of lucky drops on Wings of Liberty. That increased with, you know, the Doom drops, with the speed vacs, and now with tank drops in siege mode. You look away, you don't see it coming on the left side, which is very possible, and you might just be dead.
Banshees are killing quite a few SCVs. Some were pulled, of course. Some over here can't be pulled. Really annoying, and Semper's actually gonna get away with these, maybe? See how greedy he gets.
He's doing a lot of damage. 48 SCVs to 62.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
Basically a saturated 3rd base versus a not saturated 3rd base.
Yeah, yeah. We also see a lot more sensor towers. You know, the one that Semper has is not really all that great. It covers
Semper tower?
1. It covers 1.5 pathways, but, you know, obviously doesn't cover the very right side, doesn't cover the very bottom side. And he's not going to be able to see everything unless you put down 3 sensor towers, which we have been seeing. People are totally willing to do that. They don't like
Actually,
being
yeah.
boom dropped.
It's gotten to the point where it almost looks silly, but it's been so good at stopping what is like basically what Beasty's doing. However, Semper is not only out of position for this. I don't know if he's gonna be able to defend once out of position. Oh god, his engineering base right there too. If
Yeah.
Beasty drops in this little section, he's gonna get some really important tech.
Yeah, not just important tech, but like you can't stim up to that. Your own Sim City is hurting you. The Vikings don't even take out that last medevac as the turret does take one
Tank
out,
drops
and
off
he
a
just
little bit.
filters in.
Well,
Tank's
actually-
gonna focus on the Marines. I think they would have taken him apart, but he looks like he's gonna hold perfectly fine.
Yeah, it was a hard choice to make. You know, you either deal with the tanks that are shooting you, or you deal with the Marines. I think the Marines, I agree, would have been the better choice. But either way, for Beasty, man, he's been knocked down a couple of times. He's really taken a lot of guff from Semper, but he still managed to catch up on army supply. His SCV count's not super far behind, and of course, one of the biggest things is his tech is keeping up as well. If you start falling behind on upgrades, you start having a really bad time later on trying to fight 3-3 Marines with 2-1, 1-2 Marines.
Well, the upgrades are still behind for Semper, despite being pretty quick about putting on an engineering bay. It's vehicle weapons, both on the same level, basically. Another base going down for both players. So it's very similar, but Beastyqt is still down by that 20 supply.
Yeah.
Half an army, half an SCVs.
Like I said, Semper's been looking better in Legacy of the Void the most. It is one of those things where some of these players have been able to make their careers look potentially very sexy, I guess, when you compare their Legacy of the Void play versus their Heart of the Swarm play.
Yeah.
Something about just like that one element missing from the game. That maybe it's the medevacs picking up the tanks, maybe it's just confidence from being in the beta early. Either way, Semper's doing pretty well this game so far.
Yeah. Runs into tanks on accident, so it doesn't take too much from it. Looks like Beastyqt might be able to cancel this fourth. It's a little awkward. It's so close to being
This
finished.
tank's gonna get broken if he goes for it. Realizing that, Semper pounces, annihilates the tanks. One barely gets out of there, if at all. Okay,
Yeah.
cancel goes down on the CC, and that is a little annoying, but trading out a good chunk of his army for it. I don't know if that was worth it.
I am not sure either. I mean, it's a 15 army supply difference with upgrades
Ooh.
maybe going to come into effect here. Yeah, he's gonna go for a drop in the main. It's well defended enough, and the reinforcements are close enough at home. I don't think it's gonna be the deal breaker, but it's a little bit of a trade. I don't know what they're gonna trade. Army for army, base for base, tech for tech, but they're both trying to drop on each other.
Yeah, tank positioning, I mean, just being able to instantly... It's not even about the fact that you drop a tank, right? It's the fact that it instantly deploys, in essence, that makes it such a big deal. But drop of the main does get cleaned up. Not a problem. I think the missile turret took out the medevac too, so really easy peasy for Semper to just dedicate his focus on this side of the map. Now it's worth noting, Beast was a little bit in upgrades for a time, but it's actually Semper who's going to take that now with 3-1, or sorry, 3-2 finishing up.
Yeah, I mean, if they were attacking right now, Marines versus Marines, then Beastyqt has a nice timing, right? But it's already, you know, getting away from him. He's now down 60 supply, not just 20. You know, it's 50 army now. It's looking really quite bad for Beastyqt, and you know, it might have a faster fourth expansion, but the truth of it is that you're both running out of minerals in like all your bases, so like you're not gonna be able to make up for 50 supply with a quicker fourth base.
No, but it is one of those things still where this is a hard supply deficit to overcome, and I'd say it's only primarily because Beasty doesn't have a lot of tanks. If he had a lot of tanks, maybe Semper takes a bad engagement, maybe Beasty trades out really well, but because it doesn't have a lot of tanks and consequently not a lot of medevacs to carry those tanks around, it's the fact that his army is just not as good as Semper's. They need to do like deep voice robo mode. That would have been really good.
Yeah, it's over and done with now. It's so weird. But they both secured fourth bases. Semper, in fact, securing a fifth. Might secure a fifth. He's got eyes on Beastyqt's army, so I would imagine he's gonna be able to save it. That tank's even coming over here.
Floating some I think he should be able to knock this one down. It's going to cost him quite a bit if he does, but so he's got to watch out for that flank coming from Semper out of the middle. Beasty might be thinking, oh, I'm going to take some tanks out. This will be really nice, some good positioning, but Semper says, you know what, Beasty, I know this is your army. Oh, man. Annihilation. That supply gap just,
absolutely.
oh my god. Now double the army supply here in the favor of Semper. Everything's just going so well for him in this game.
There's something magic about people that are good with these tank drops. You know, you think that it's obvious enough. Like, okay, I drop my tanks on top of this, and then it's gonna go well. But sometimes it goes, like, drastically wrong when it looks like it's gonna go well. You really have a very tough time looking at it and saying this will win and this won't, which most people are very used to in Heart of the Swarm. With new units and new abilities, it's always a gamble to say this is going to work.
Yeah,
with tank
it's
drops.
not so clear cut.
And Semper's just been lucky for the most part. You know, there was one time versus QXE TG that, you know, he drastically like overestimated his own tank drop, but that was like one time. Otherwise, he's gotten all the good engagements.
Well, good game out of Semper, shows us the strength of his TVT so far. Of course, it's worth noting for those who don't know, it's a round robin sort of setup for the $7,500 tournament. So, yeah, losing a map here and there right now doesn't suck so bad. It might come into effect a little bit later on, but of course, it's lots of games to play, and Beastyqt's got so many other matches to worry about. Not to get hung up on this one versus Semper. We're going to swap to a small ad break really quick, guys, so stick with us. We'll be back in a second with game number 2. Alright, welcome back to TaKeTV's Legacy of the Ultras, a $7,500 tournament. We're in the third best of 5 today, and this game's already getting underway in a lot of different ways. So, in the bottom right corner of the map, we have the pink, I don't know why I was going to say light red, the pink Terran player, Beastyqt.
Red with a little white color. On the top left as the red Terran, it is Semper.
Alright, so one thing we have not been doing over the course of our Kickstarter is shouting out individual Kickstarter contributions, because it frankly would be too much. It'd be kind of insane, but I do want to give a shout out to this individual one. It's only $30 coming in from someone named Marco Glauser, but that one puts us over our next stretch goal. So now we have to do another stupid dress-up stream sometime. And we'll let you guys, of course, vote on what you want us to dress up as, etc. But, nice, another tier hit. Another goal reached.
Nice. Well, So interesting that Semper did the second racks on the bottom. It's, you know, it's unlikely to be scouted, and maybe they'll make a drastic mistake thinking one thing and you're doing the other. But it looks like not much has really come from it. They're both gonna attack each other in the middle, more away from the grenade.
Grenade does friendly fire, worth noting for people to keep in mind.
Yeah.
But all right, so for Semper, he can still snowball off this, I'd say. If Beasty's not rushing out something like a fast Banshee, these still work pretty well versus pretty much anything that comes out of that factory. And we'll see if he decides to go for the attack or not. Beasty is going to perhaps sneak around with this Reaper.
Yeah, you really don't see what's going on if this is all dedicated on one base still, which is it. It's unlikely in Legacy of the Void. You just have way too many minerals, but it is possible. And he's gonna see one rack still. That's a little suspicious. It's the only thing he's seen.
So annoying the way that disrupts mining for a moment. As we see, one of the biggest bugs with it is SCVs will try and return the minerals, but for some reason can't. And I don't know what's up with that.
There you go. It's also like, it really reduces the efficiency of the mining, not just as the explosion happens. Obviously that's a hiccup, but they'll all like go to the back of the minerals.
BC Sim City's gonna screw him here.
Ah, that's funny.
He's gonna go all the way around, and then Semper can just jump out and come up on the other side of the racks if he wants. That takes a little bit of a bad engagement there, but yeah, as we see, oh, it's actually not hugging the cliff. Okay, maybe not so bad then. The problem with these grenades was, well, they don't do a lot of damage. It's only 10 damage. It's an area of effect shot, and the Marines can't heal the same way the Reapers can. So as they continue to get lower and lower chasing into this, Beasty's just gonna bleed out Marines. It's so gross, so annoying. Yeah. But the tank's almost out.
There's a little time where you could actually just like kill the Marine before he even gets a shot off after being thrown around. So he's just barely being able to get these Reapers. If he had 7, this might be snowballing hardcore. But luckily, I started off with 5. The Banshee's gonna come out. The tank's out. So, I mean, Semper did dedicate a lot of gas into those Reapers. So his own factory, not even down yet, went for a 3rd CC and a 3rd barracks instead.
Well, let's see what's going back here for Semper. So he got some pretty good attack out of it. It was really dedicated, unfortunately. But, I mean, the nice thing about going heavy on the racks is we know from playing last night, because we played this game, believe it or not, is it does give you a lot of production through Raxes. So it's not like Semper's going to be like, oh my god, BC, how do I produce Marines to deal with your counterattack? Like, he should be pretty much set for whatever comes. The only downside is his starport will be really late.
Yeah. It just makes it a little more difficult to take care of the Banshees. I mean, not really that much. Did he get a Banshee? Oh. No.
Oh, nice pick up on the tank. Well, medevac more importantly, but also the tank is a consequence. Uh-oh.
Holy hell.
Am I losing Zombie Grub? Who is it? It is Zombie
It's
Grub!
me. Yeah, it's Zombie Grub. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, she's fine on Skype. I don't know, guys. Sorry. I can see you. I can hear you. That glam cam is still going strong.
I don't know, man.
Just
Yeah,
hashtag beta servers.
Yeah,
it's not one
I was
thing,
like,
it's another.
I was all like, oh, I never experienced any lag with Legacy of the Void.
Right?
Rifkin just got unlucky, and Blizzard was like, well, then.
If you guys ever want to know how karma works.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Tank setup means these Reapers probably won't get a lot more done. Still though, lots of damage done to the Marines, possibly a little bit more if he's paying attention. But of course, it's really hard to pay attention with so much going on in Legacy of the Void. And that's why, again, I dislike how much everyone's kind of been pooping on Archon mode. I think a lot of it is just a lot of pros who don't want or they don't know how to do teamwork, or they don't want to know how to do teamwork. But I think Archon was going to be up a lot of cool stuff because it is a situation where you've got so much going on already. It's really hard to do that perfect Reaper micro. But if that's going on while you've got the macro perfectly going on, helping not drop on the ball, I really do think like top tier Archon mode is gonna be some of the most entertaining stuff to watch.
Yeah, I know that a lot of pros will say that this isn't their intent or that I'm totally off base here, but sometimes when they talk about it, it just sounds like they're like a little tone of like it's underneath me, right?
Right? Like I definitely get that too. That condescension.
Oh no! Oh gosh, so many. Nice. Like, I play StarCraft, it's 1v1. I don't play League of Legends, like, teamwork.
Well,
I mean, even some of them will even admit that they do not like giving up control. So at least they'll admit their problems.
Right, and it's not even that, but like communication seems to be an issue too. I mean, Tefl and Tamikis, I believe it was, they had to pause the game in one of the Archon mode tournaments just to be like, so the other guy's an idiot, and I don't want to play with him, and we don't know what we're doing. Give me a sec, guys. Like,
You actually have to practice Archon mode and how to communicate and what works best for you to either split the micro and the macro, or maybe like left side, right side. But like, it is actually something you can practice and actually be good at. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'll never be able to do it because I can never find someone that's like good as me. I'm like, I don't think it's a problem.
well, that's neither here nor there for now, because of course this is just 1v1s. But I want to take a quick moment to ask chat, make sure to wish Origa Capella in chat a happy birthday. This guy's a really cool dude. He helped make a lot of the map intros for this season of our maps. So really nice guy, really funny guy. He's the genius behind Cactus Valley. He said like, hey, I want to do something silly for the map, and I was like, go for it. We're all about silly, dog. And so yeah, if you can see him in chat, make sure to wish him a happy birthday.
Well, Beastyqt took some damage from the Reaper, but kind of made up for with a Widowmine shot. Gonna abuse Iron Fortress. Unfortunately, with tanks being able to be dropped like this, there's no safe third. You expand toward your opponent, you expand away. It's all gonna be harassed like this, and your only option is to really like return the harass, the exact same type. Beastyqt doesn't have combat shields quite yet, so if an direct engagement did happen, that could be important.
As I wasted a couple shots on Marines instead of tanks. Dealing with the tanks became a little bit difficult.
He messed
Micro.
up. Yeah. Really messed up.
Both players kind of getting a little bit panicked, I'd say. Tanks get low on this side, but finally Semper secures his third base. Problem for him, though, is while this was a bit of a trade out on this side of the map, Beasty was happily mining the whole time, so he's got money, he's got production, and he's got a pretty nice army supply lead as a consequence.
Yeah. Well, like, Semper made a really bad mistake by not saving his own tank. Then his Marines got funneled in. I mean, it was sloppy, and I think maybe if he'd taken another second to think about it, he could have maybe found a better way, a better solution. But Semper just took the... It's just always the case. Like, this, I hate playing this matchup. I like watching it, but like, you could do the exact same thing. They just got there first, and that's why they won. Like, I hate that.
You clicked harder than I did. You moved faster, whatever, no skill.
Your Doom drop went in the exact location it should have, where mine went through one missile turret. I guess I lose.
Yeah, stupid game. No skill.
Stupid game.
Terran's OP.
Hate StarCraft.
Alright, so Beasty once again going to try and put some pressure by the looks of it towards that third. It's a great place to put the pressure, and I almost wish that instead of trying to defend, he Semper go across the map, but at the same time, he needs this base. He knows how important his mining is, so makes a lot of sense that he's staying at home trying to make sure this doesn't get too out of hand.
Yeah, I feel like he should be dropping the tanks behind the tanks, as opposed to like with the Marines. He's just losing so much by going into the choke of the minerals.
It's something you can't appreciate unless you've gotten frustrated at your own tanks for doing it, but the pivot on that turret to spin around to shoot Marines over here and then shoot the tanks over there, it actually adds a lot to the delay, but GG is going to be called, and it looks like BC will tie up the series. Every series so far goes 1-1 to the start.
Oh, so if that's the case, then Semper should still win.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Next map coming up here in just a moment, guys. Once again, we're going to just take a quick ad break. We're getting towards the end of the cast, so I'm personally having a bit of trouble holding it together, so we'll see you guys in 2 minutes.
Your cough's always well-timed. Like, you're never like, oh, I'm feeling really sick, guys, but it's like a perfectly normal voice. You're like, yeah, I don't remember that I'm sick. Oh god, I'm dying.
It's because it's basically whatever my lungs give out. It's not like my throat's bugging me. So it's like, if I'm talking, that's great, but if all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm winded, like...
It's well-timed.
Okay, I'm almost out of water though, so this cast is well-timed. I've been getting bad at muting too. I've been getting lazy, and I've been tapping out, so I'm kind of coughing off to the side. Ugh. 4 days I gotta go to the dentist. I'll be like coughing up in his face. Jill will be in the back of my tooth. I'm like, no, actually, that's like a nightmare. I don't want that to happen. Dude, I haven't been to the dentist. First off, I know you guys can hear us on stream, by the way. Hello. You should be watching ads instead of listening to us. But yo, I seriously haven't been to the dentist since like high school, so I'm fucking scared.
Oh my god.
They're gonna be like, you got 1 million cavities and we gotta pull like 17 teeth.
Oh my god. You come back and you're just like, they're talking like fish.
Yeah. I'll never be able to cast again. Alright guys, we're just going to hop directly into game. It is tied up 1-1 in the final best of 5 today. Keep in mind, there is so many matches ahead of us. This is just the start of TaKeTV's Lotus Legacy of the Ultra Tournament. $7,500-ish for prizes, because I don't really know how it's distributed, but it's a $7,500 USD prize pool. Top left corner of the map, though, day 1 is going to be the pink Terran player, Beastyqt.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran, it's Semper.
Did I say right or left? I don't even care. Whatever. Shut up. So, Semper, I was really expecting more from... I'm sorry, by the way. I was expecting more... I was mad at myself. I was expecting more from the Reapers. I was a little bit sad we didn't see it go further, especially with Beastie SimCity set up the way it was. I really thought they could have run around for quite a bit more time. But I also kind of fear that might turn him off from trying to go that direction with the attack again. Because I didn't think that was a bad opening for him, but it did not succeed, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, we hyped it up a little bit, saying it's pretty effective, and so far it really hasn't been. I swear, man.
It's more like it can be effective. We've seen it be effective.
Yeah. I guess both players are going to give up on that idea, though. We do have a very, very quick second gas for Beastyqt. So where they've been expanding fairly quickly, maybe not so for Beastyqt in this game. Really quick starport, I suppose. Like I said, it's gone back to just being mostly about the Banshees and the starport production of whatever you choose to get, medevac, Viking, Banshee.
Yeah, I really thought, by the way, like with the Cyclone, if the Cyclone wasn't changed, I still think the Banshee would have phased out. I mean, the Cyclone was such a good shut down everything unit. So I'm actually, because I like watching Banshees and Banshee play, I'm really glad that they kind of nerfed the Cyclone in that regard. Because I was going to be a little bit sad if it meant that we didn't see any more Banshee openings. Just because the potential, not even because there was a Cyclone, but just because there would be the potential of a Cyclone. That would have sucked.
Yeah, I like the Banshee. She's cool.
There's not, what?
I said in the 5, in the whatever. I can't say
5 by 5?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
I was at the dropship, not the Banshee. I messed him up.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say the Banshee, by the way, probably the least, like, because you got like Nova at the top tier for this, right? Like the least sexualized thing in StarCraft 2 for like the ladies. But there's some like really good DeviantArt fan art of like the Banshee pilots out there, guys. I would highly recommend checking them out. Them Banshee pilots is fine, Semper.
Okay. I always imagine him as like some like farm girl, you know, with her accent that got enlisted. So.
My pa was a pilot, so I'm a pilot.
You don't have to be from South America, like not South America, the southern parts of America, United States, to sound like that.
I do declare, my pa was a pilot.
I wish that was a voiceover pack.
Can we get some custom voice packs, Blizzard, please?
The Southern Belle voice pack.
Actually, that'd be pretty funny.
Well, butter my biscuit.
I do declare. It'd be so horrible. Honestly, I get so annoyed at that. Like after 5 minutes, like it'd be really funny for the first couple times. And just shut. How do I control S? Mute sounds.
I will do the voiceovers for free, Blizzard. Just let me on it.
Dude, can you imagine if we actually had like a Beastyqt TV voice pack sold it for like 5 cents? Billions of people would buy that. I'm telling you, billions.
We could do like cameos in each other's voice packs. Not enough minerals.
Actually,
He doesn't care, Zombie Grub. Let him play like he likes.
first off, that'd be amazing. Secondly, I know it's like the whole Valve discussion, so like it's not gonna happen. I'm not trying to say it would be, but it is just something I want to give a compliment to them for. They got like community casters and stuff to do voice packs, like Perion Flax and others. I always thought that was like the coolest thing. Like, you imagine like a Day 9 voice pack? Oh my god, so many people are gonna like.
Imagine like a Day 9 would be awesome, where like Adra yelling in your ear like you're not good enough. But I was just thinking like Trisha Helfer, right? Kerrigan, she could accidentally talk about like be like Edie or like Six. You know how
You're writing Easter eggs before you have like an actual script. You're just like
I know, right?
you're going for the dessert before your dinner, Simon.
It's like the Warcraft thing, the my life for ire. I mean,
Ner'zhul. Yeah, the Acolyte. The best Easter egg thing. Nice catch on the Banshee, by the way, the use of the auto turret. Unfortunate to have to use the energy like that, but still nice nonetheless. Pretty interesting drop coming across the map. In the past, we've seen more classic versions of, say, 2 tanks, 8 Marines, spread up between 2 medevacs, but it's 7 Marines and 1 pre-sieged tank. This has the potential for a lot of damage, but if BC is at home and not moving out, I think he holds us no problem. However, he is going to start moving out.
It's gonna get awkward. This would probably be almost an easy hold, as there aren't many auto turrets. There's not 2 tanks, only the 1, and not a lot of abusable positions. SimCity for Beastyqt is looking all right, but it looks to be kind of like a base trade.
Well, actually, 1 tank at home, a couple of SCVs pulled. This might not be too bad.
Put it closer. Oh, well. I guess he wanted to shoot the auto turret and anything else, but the save did not go down.
This is actually going pretty bad for BC. That tank at home could have actually been a really nice stall device, I guess.
Yeah, but you look at this. I mean, what does Semper have? Did Semper realize this was going down? Now he does. He has his own 1 tank.
Auto turrets, please. BC's got to shuttle something up there. Those turrets only going to buy so much time, and the tank needs to get the shots up while it can. There we go.
All right. So he has a tank up there now. The mass repair. Oh, they messed up. They tried to repair the reactor or something. I don't know. The SCV's just freaking out.
Okay, so the tank's in a pretty good spot. So second tank here. Advancing, I don't think it's going to be possible without another auto turret. If the Vikings pick off that Raven, yeah, there we go. Those Marines can't move forward. The tank can't reposition. I mean, BC's still in a pretty good spot to do damage, just generally speaking, but he can't really advance his position. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it looks like SCVs are slowly trying to deal with this tank. Oh, God. Kind of just going to shit for both players.
Yeah, well, the difference is right now is
this is the difference right here.
Yeah, well, he's mining, and his production is now no longer compromised, but he can't tear down the tank drop. Oh, but he gives it up anyways. Oh, he lost it? No, it's still there. Okay. Yeah, so he can't clear up the tank drop, so he's still taking damage, but he's also still dealing damage. And I don't know who this works out better for.
I think Semper, and I'm only saying this because he's got more SCVs.
The supply. Yeah, more CDs and more armies still. And that tank drop is still, I mean, it finally gets cleaned up. I guess he was looking away for a second, but that lasted a lot longer. You know, that itself took down like 10 more SCVs, making the difference. Just that one single tank, man, being a boss.
Well, for Semper, I mean, he did so much damage with the initial tank drop. I imagine he's going to be thinking of going back for round 2. At the same time, though, he might also be really worried about an attack. This is where we really find out if he's one of those players who's going to play defensive or not. Looks like not going to be the case. Or maybe?
They're playing red light, green light. Red light. Green light. Okay, there they go. Now they're going to be coming with Vikings, and he's absolutely going to be able to take control of the tank wars. I mean, like, you would say that, but you would mean like they'd be able to, you know, they have to use a scan to get their tanks to even have a shot. But now it's like actually being able to pick them up and drop them.
Yeah, medevacs plays such a big role.
Combat shield's also not done for either player. It could be a big help for Beastyqt should it finish in time, but it's not. Definitely not. I love it. I mean, the tech is actually really limited, you know? Like, neither player investing in the stim or combat shields yet, just having to deal with all of this. Pick up the tanks, pick up the tanks.
Yeah, reposition them away from the Marines, get some more shots off. BC going for the pause. Uh-oh.
Red light?
Is he lagging?
Okay, that's what I figured. I was like, I didn't really pin Beastyqt as like a super BM guy.
It's not me!
Like, come on!
It's not me lagging, at least. I'll take that.
No, it looks like it's just gonna be him. That Legacy of the Void lag.
I feel him though. I always kind of undervalue just how bad lag can be, and I remember I was doing a game at LOTV, and I had like 1 second of latency, and it was costing me so many engagements. Like siege tanks were never sieged. It was really horrible. I just hate worst experience. So for Beastyqt, I imagine a perfectionist like him probably feel that twice as much.
Yeah. Unfortunately, even without lag, the micro is just simply in favor of Semper. You know, like that. Lag's affecting it, like you're not being able to spread your marines, and they're taking maybe more heavier shots than they should, but it all comes down to that you don't have any anti-air. He cleaned up the Viking, so I'm surprised he's just getting one Viking of his own just to stop this.
Yeah.
The Banshee will do the job for him.
I mean, the Banshee is an interesting choice, but as we can see, if you pick up the tank quick enough, you don't even take the shot from the Banshee, so it's... Yeah, I think a Viking would have been a better choice for sure.
Well, I was really thinking probably that such a late Banshee, maybe there won't be any defense.
That's G.
Yeah.
I want to give a big shout out to Origa Capella. It's his birthday, and for some reason he subs to us. Dude, we're supposed to give you things on your birthday. Thank you so much for that subscription. But for Beastyqt, that's got to be, if nothing else, like just infuriating to know that that's how that went down. Semper now with a 2-1 lead. And we're going to get to this next game pretty quick by the looks of it. So we'll hold off on the ad break as, what is this? Coda going to be the next map.
Cool.
And then should we go to map 5, that will be Orbital Shipyard. I really like Orbital Shipyard, by the way. It's probably like my favorite new map they did.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, what? Do you like Lurlak Crest?
Yeah, better than Lurlak Crest. No, I like Ruins.
Ruins is alright. I think it's just because I like 2-player maps more is the reason I would put that personally above Ruins of Saras.
Really?
But it'd be like a close 1-2 for me.
I like 4-player maps more. I had no idea we had that difference.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because how am I going to cheese you on a 4-player map, right?
That's true. I like 4-player maps are really,
This is
really,
why
really
it's very
tiny
important.
2-player maps.
You see, this is why I need to scout so early, okay, Zombie Grub? Like, it's very important to me. Like, I understand that you have a different...
I need that second.
The one second, man, fucking dumbest argument we've ever had on the stream. Alright, Coda, ladies and gentlemen, coming up. We'll see you in a sec. Well, as much as you guys have been hearing me cough on stream, I've been muting a lot of them, and sadly I missed that one, so sorry about that. But, still getting over being sick. Getting there. I'm getting there. Bottom right corner of the map, we have our player trailing the series. It's going to be the light blue Terran, Beastyqt.
In the top left as the red Terran, it's Semper.
Of course, this is the TaKeTV Legacy of the Ultra tournaments. If you guys want to learn more about it, you can check it out on their website. They've got a full list of actually every player playing every week. The only thing that's not released is when the dates are, because nobody knows that just yet. Like, you know, is so-and-so playing on the 15th versus the 16th? But you'll know that Kiwi Kaki plays versus Stefano, I think, like week 2 or something like that. Everyone's been super hyped about that one. There's a lot of really cool matches scheduled and up and coming. So make sure you check out TaKeTV's website for that, guys.
Yeah. I recently, like the day before that was announced, I managed to watch the video. Someone was like nostalgia, right? Of Kyukaki versus Stefano on Tal Dareem. It was like a 40-minute long game with Broodlords and the. It wasn't the first use of Vortex, but it was their Vortex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
Franz, brother?
For some reason that sounded wrong. Anyways, but it was like the like the best use apparently. Like it was fun, but damn, was it slow. People just did not know.
I feel like, can you imagine trying to logic yourself in the StarCraft universe? You're the protest. You're like, all right, we've got this wonderful ability. It sucks in all these units and it takes them out of commission for a while, but let's get rid of it because reasons.
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about pushing the Archons into it, right? You're like, here, it's a vortex. It goes down into the ground. It goes into nothingness as far as we know. And you might pop out okay, but Archons, if you could just get in there, just like push them in, and they're like, no.
Susu?
I don't
I think
wanna.
it's the stalkers that return to the void. What are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, this is. We were like priests, you know. We're pretty important.
Cold is the void. Well, I don't know. As much as I miss abilities like that, we also saw it just kind of. It sucked that every game would hinge around that. Like either the Protest Boy got the great, like suck in, I guess, on the Broodlords, or the Infestor would like
I remember
neural
just,
and like is a big mess.
Everyone was like, the Zerg would never split their Broodlords, and I was like, you know what you could do? You could make 2 clumps of Broodlords and half the, you know, the goodness of the vortex.
But full energy, you could get 2 vortexes on re-up. So checkmate, atheists.
Okay, buddy. But like that was another one that's kind of, you know, it was a product of a metagame that no longer really exists. So Vortex, imagine what that would have looked like with Swarm Host when, you know, the way that they were. Or what would it look like now?
This is actually problems for Beasty.
A little bit.
Oh,
my
there's the
god.
repair.
No, stop repairing each other.
No, it's perfect. The Circle Jerk saved them.
Yeah, but just barely, only because the Hellion didn't take a second shot when it should have. Oh, I'm saying they're probably gonna be turned to toast.
Oh, this is
Lucky.
nice.
Yeah, man. Today in SSL, or GSL rather, no spoilers, but Dream put a supply depot below Flash's like factory or something.
Oh man,
it was pretty good. It was actually really annoying for him.
So you never, like, as a Terrapler, you never think about this. Like, it's so autopilot. You're just like, oh, there's an SCV around. Who cares? Oh, there's a probe there. Not a problem. Boom, pylon. Son of a boy, hit my life. Ah!
Yeah, that's true. Well, most of the time, by the time you're thinking of doing that and they're adding on add-ons, you know, you're supposed to not have a worker in their base. So there's a reason it's rare. It's so silly when it happens.
Well, if you spread some Marines at the top of the ramp, these Hellions shouldn't be a problem to deal with.
Yeah, plus there's a tank in the back, so even if they got through the Marines, they would die. No big deal. The Semper gets a quick third base to make up for the slower natural, which is still in his main base. I don't know why. It should definitely be moved over. Oh, he's still building, that's why.
Yes, zombie grub.
My mistake.
Embarrassing.
I know.
Oh, that's a lot of turns to that beat. I mean, I like it because he saw his opponent trying to land the starport. He tried to stall it out with a Reaper. Like, he knew that there was the potential of a Banshee, but it's actually not the direction that Semper ended up going.
Well, the Viking Wars are gonna maybe play more of a part in this game. I brought it up like in the second game or something. How if you have Viking control, then you have air medevac drop control basically. But that wasn't really ever an issue. They both got 1, maybe 2, and then they did other things to play that game out. You know, if they both realized they won it, then they could both add on reactors and really go hardcore into the Vikings. But this tank drop, doomed to fail, ran into a Viking. Easy peasy.
Unless the goal was to kill a Hellion, then that was actually a huge success.
Okay. I don't think it was, but you're right. Third base, pretty slow for Beastyqt, but I don't think Semper is going to take his own third base on location for a while.
Yeah, can you imagine the tank and come back over? You're like, sir, mission accomplished! Kill that Hellion! Like, I didn't send you to kill the Hellion. Sir, mission accomplished!
Yo, seriously, like, from the campaign and everything, and like their unit voices, it does sound like the Terran units are just really not smart.
No, they're loud, belligerent, idiot criminals who just got big guns to play with, right? Like, that's Marines in a nutshell, so I can't imagine everything else is too different.
Only some of them are criminals, please. Back straight.
Nice shots. Turret and Viking can clean that up. Thanks to the lift, couple of SCVs go down, but minimizes damage for the drop. BC holds.
Stim is on the way for Beastyqt, a little bit faster than Semper's. Semper doesn't have a tech lab on his barracks, that's why it's taking so long. Only just now finishing up. Might get 2 tech labs and get both combat shields and Stim at the same time to kind of make up for that, you know, later tech. And that is in fact what he does.
So Marauders had an interesting tweak with Legacy of the Void. Not that we're seeing them here, but just worth noting if you guys start playing, because I know a new wave of invites just went out yesterday, and I think it was some of the BlizzCon ticket holders that got invited.
You mean to say noob?
What did I say?
Well, I thought you were saying new wave of Blizzard invites, and you said noob wave.
Did I? Well, whatever. My point is, I'm sick.
It both works.
Anyways, my point was the Marauders had an interesting change, and I was really hoping we'd see Mech versus Mech at some point in the series to talk about it. But I just want to quickly throw out there for those who are getting into it, Marauders, probably the only bio unit that's tweaked really uniquely, where it didn't really get nerfed hardcore, but it was still nerfed a little bit. Their damage being split into 2 the way it is. You guys probably saw a little bit earlier in the series versus Kiwikaki. It looks cool watching them shoot 2 shots at once, but it also splits the damage, which means it gets reduced twice by armor. Really annoying to deal with things like Hellbats and stuff with upgrades.
Yeah. More so than just, I don't know, anything else. It just seems like Mech was going to be a lot of people's preferred style, because that's what sounded like it had the most buffs and it was the most fun, and it's just plain old good. But contrary to what maybe some pro gamers were saying, like Mech was going to dominate, we see a lot more Marine tank, I would say.
Yeah.
Or definitely more Marine tank versus Marine tank than Mech versus Mech.
Well, I think a lot of those statements still held true though when the Cyclone was still friggin' good.
That's true.
Like it's still pretty good right now, but it's not friggin' good, like.
Yeah. Well, Semper already taken nice shots to the face on his Marines, so he's already not looking so hot in this engagement. He hasn't had control over this game.
He doesn't
been
have
on the
stim, there's
defensive.
just no way to really get in there.
Yeah, but he's also not like he's not lifting his own tanks. I think that's a big problem, because every time that his tank is left alone like this, it's more of a chance that it's taken down. So there he goes now, picking them all up. And now I can micro and match Beastyqt. Oh god, that was a slaughter. Oh no.
That was quite bad. Probably could have saved that tank too if his medevacs were controlled a little bit differently. I mean, he could drop directly on top of the tanks. There's no Marines here. I just don't think he identified that as the problem. Because if he just drops directly on top of the tanks, he cleans this up no problem. BZ doesn't have enough medevacs.
He's taking on so many Marines. I mean, it seems to be that whoever starts the engagement has a lot of momentum with these tank drops. So
I like that though.
That was Beastyqt.
I like that that's the case now though, especially with the tank drops being what they are, because it really doesn't favor the turtle player. You're going to start seeing these games that aren't so drawn out because they're boring and stalematey, but because both players are trading and they're both expanding and like maps get mined out, blah blah blah.
Look,
blah.
alright, I don't like turtle games, and I like the idea of being aggressive, but TPT is just so much about missing each other. You go to the right, I go to the left, base trade enabled. Exactly what's kind of happening here, although Semper does try and run back to save his base.
Let's see if he gets their time. The tanks do unload, which would be nice, but the Marines are already on top of this. Picking up the low tanks, reposition them. Good control. Flank from behind with some of the Marines. Going to get one of the tanks by the looks of it.
Not quite anything else, and Beastyqt still has a somewhat secure position. Loses that last tank. I think it's going to be broken. There's so many medevacs. Of course.
This is where you really need just one Viking. It really goes on a mile.
Right? Like, don't they have one Viking, or do they all go down? No. Beastyqt has 2, and Semper has 1.
I mean, whether it's defensively or offensively, the Viking can make just such a big difference on keeping those medevacs back, being too scared to pick up a tank. Last thing you want to do is boost him with a low medevac, so then he's got a micro just a little bit extra.
SCV count, exactly the same. If Beastyqt didn't have 2 freaking out in his third.
I think they're stuck.
Oh yeah, they're stuck.
One's freaking out. The other guy's like, "Look, dude, just stay calm. All right, this will get fixed. Just
we're fine."
He's like, "No, man, I got some minerals in my hands. I gotta get this out of my hands. I gotta put it in the command center. My family needs this."
That was pretty good. That was good. I was gonna bring up that the upgrades are a little behind for Semper. They're gonna be ahead at one point, but not for one of these engagements. For the next like 2 minutes, it's all gonna go in favor of Beastyqt should the tanks not get the perfect shots.
Sensor tower not in a position to pick this up. No turrets along the ledge of the base either. I mean, he's still got his own tanks. He's gonna try and drop in here, but as you see, not a good shot.
No. That's what happened with QXC one time too. This is 2 tanks, I believe. There's more here. He's running out of tanks, man.
BC is getting a nice edge in this fight, that's for sure. Tanks buying the time to get the Marines up here to do some damage, getting the top of production, compromising some racks. Maybe even the factory goes down if not careful. I wish the Marines weren't kind of giving away so haphazardly, and maybe I should be able to focus off the command center, force off the command center, but BC's gonna pick up and reposition himself.
I feel so sad now. I'm sure Semper does too. It's his
Viking,
control of his own
please.
base is getting out. Like, right? It's not even helping that much.
No, literally,
This
move
is out of
command
hand.
is. completely ignored what was going on. Yeah, the third base under attack. And Beasty's got a fourth while this goes on, so it keeps getting worse and worse for Semper. This is a downward spiral.
Looks like Beastyqt has broken the 3-1 curse, 3-1 thingy of today, and he will be going on to the ace match as he is now 50. The Makajigger.
Marine tears down their fighter in the main. You go, man. Nice job.
It's probably 100%. There you go.
All right, so it is going to be 2-2. It's going to be the first ace match we see today. It will go to Orbital Shipyard to be that last map here for the TVT. And I guess we'll head up a small break. So stick around, guys. 2 minutes. We'll keep this one short. 2 minutes. We'll see you soon. Alright, I'm back. Hey guys, or we're back. Ugh, look at that greed, right? We're in the lobby for Orbital Shipyard. We're waiting on Beasty here. Don't know if he just needed to use the bathroom or what. Just in a moment though, please. And, well, there he is. He's actually back. Perfect. So let's just get the in-game stuff on because there's no intro for this. I would totally try and get some intros made for this, guys, but the map data for Legacy of the Void is actually not available the same way HOTS is, so we just straight up can't.
I say, there's also a chance that they're gonna change the map pool. Like,
oh, definitely. I mean,
their seasons are in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, but that passion is real, Zombie.
Oh, okay.
Plus, you know, an extra 30 seconds where I'm not talking means I'm not coughing and dying, so would have been nice to have. But we are back in game number 5. It's the first ace match in this entire tournament. It's day 1 of week 1 for the Lotus matches. Lotus stands for Legacy of the Ultras. Ultras being TaKeTV subscribers. And of course, there's $7,500 up for grabs in this whole tournament. Lots of matches to be done. If you want to see all the matches scheduled out, make sure you go to TaKeTV's website. But of course, for us, we'll be casting as much as we can in English. There'll be a couple of days, like tomorrow, sadly, where we can't cast some of the matches live. But any matches we do miss live, we will, of course, cover in replays at some point. However, getting to this final match today. In the bottom left corner of the map, Orbital Shipyard, it's going to be the light blue Terran player, Beastyqt.
And the top right as the red Terran, it's Semper.
So Semper's not really, like, Semper, again, credit where it's due, he's been playing this pretty darn well. I didn't ever really have him on my radar as being, like, this really cool player. Like, even now, when I think of Legacy of the Void Terrans, you know, my mind goes to Miso and QXC and some of the ones you'd expect to think about. Not so much Semper, but Being 2-2 versus someone like Beasty, and Beasty has throughout his whole career had pretty good TVT. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah. Very solid mechanics, but also able to use the tank drops mostly well. Of course, it does seem like whoever gets there first is usually in control, but I think we're gonna see that change actually, because what it seems to be is not like the momentum is just, you know, an automatic given. It's more that people are forgetting that you should probably have your tanks in your medevacs always.
It's really counterintuitive. I mean, it's a tank, right? Who puts that in a medevac?
Yeah, where usually you set them and forget them. You know, you got two in the third base, and they're probably not gonna run up it with Marines, but they'll drop on it with your own with tanks. So, in order for that not to happen, just keep your own in your medevacs. And if they get Vikings, well, then that's when you can unload them and figure that part out later. But people are forgetting to start it off like that.
I look at this. I'm like, man, was that the missing element Semper needed to be like the best Terran player? Just like one change like that. Crazy jump as the Reaper does get out of the base. Reaper's quite mobile. Even he said that jump looks a little ridiculous. Nothing beats the Catalina jumps though. Those were the most ridiculous.
Yeah, they were. Oh, that's gonna get one Marine. It's just like your buddy flies over you, but they're totally okay.
I'm telling you, rocket jumping, Sambergo. Rocket jumping. It's the coolest thing you put in any video game.
Sure. Jak and Daxter was pretty fun. There's a lot of rockets in that game.
Someone didn't play enough TF2. That's the soldier.
I've played one game of TF2, so that is correct.
That's those nightmares, dude. Fire, fire, fire! Banshee coming out of Semper. Now let's see, did BC actually pick up on that with the Reaper? He was running around. Okay, he did see the tech lab on the factory, so 2 gases, tech lab, factory. Most of the time, Banshees. Sometimes Cyclones, not as often though.
Yeah. We don't have many people opening up with Ravens or Vikings anymore to hard counter a Banshee opener. Either because, you know, there haven't actually been Banshee versus Banshee in this series, but I'd say more so because it's no longer desperate if you don't have detection in a Viking to chase a Banshee down, as you don't need an engineering bay to make turrets. That's such a relief. I don't think any non-Terran players quite realize how much it is. Like, you see an Oracle, and you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I'm an engineering bay! And then you just build a turret, which admittedly you still lose like 10 SCVs, but it's better than just dying right off the bat.
Well, I mean, we still lost to that yesterday.
Well, that
really badly.
You know, it still was a little bit better. Okay, we would have been. I think we just would have tapped out if I'd have built an engineering bay when those came in.
It's for Zombie Girl. What she said is true, but it's like put an asterisk next to it because like sometimes you still get screwed by oracles. Like,
well, oracles are different than banshees, all right? For the most part, you expect banshees. Okay, when you should expect oracles, but you always get in that trap, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, you know, oh, maybe they're not. Oh, they did. They went Forge, Robo, Twilight Council, and they still got an Oracle somewhere in there. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that.
Where did you even get the gas, man?
All those are fakes. They didn't actually use them. Just fakes.
Well, it's Bio coming out of Semper. BC still hasn't really dedicated to much just yet.
Starting off with the tank job is probably the riskiest that you can do, because it is possible to open up the Viking. So far, Semper has, I think. Just gotten a Viking and been able to deal with this single tank drop in his base perfectly fine.
I mean, I don't even know who I'm rooting for at this point. They're both playing the series out pretty well. I mean, it's let's be honest, messy a lot of the time from both. No one's playing this perfect, but those are the types of games I love the most.
Yeah, it's certainly fun. And I don't know. It's also like no one's desperate right now, which is both. I'd say it's a blessing right now, because you're probably like, well, I could do whatever I wanted in the 5th game. If I lose, then that sucks, because best of 5. That's just, you know, ugh. But at least it's not the end of a tournament. But that could be kind of like a false sense of security, because like you said, around, you know, week 7, and you're like, man, if only I didn't like 2 racks, because I didn't care about that last game.
Yeah.
In week 1, I'd be good.
I just want to check the Team Liquid thread, by the way. I didn't realize they also posted each week individually all the matchups on the Team Liquid thread, so that's kind of cool.
Well, Semper is down in SCVs. He does have the faster 3rd CC again, as well as the much faster stim. A little behind on the upgrades, so there's balances everywhere, and they're probably going to equalize shortly. Oh, the combat shield's finishing though. That's usually a big deal. It looks like it'll finish up pretty well around the same time though. As when Stim is done. As long as Semper is immediately on that, he'll be fine. Didn't forget.
Well, we got some tanks in the medevac started up, so got the tools to fight.
He does.
I would love if BC was just like, or even Semper was just like, you know what? Screw it. Mass Banshee, Mass Viking, because we know he's going to do these dumb tank drops. Just to see how it goes. I mean, it would probably go quite terribly for the player that does Banshees and Vikings, but just kind of a cool thing to see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Beastyqt securing his third base. It looks low. I thought he was never going to CP down there, too. Oh, no, it's building it as natural, which is probably the worst place you could put it. But he's going to push out and secure his natural at the same time. Kind of thing, kind of deal. But his upgrades are lining up really well for this. His Viking's going to catch this Banshee. She had no hope. No hope.
I might trigger him to put those on the front lines now, too, realizing that's been dealt with, but... Semper's in a pretty good spot to intercept.
Wow.
Quickly turns around.
Yeah, but if that medevac wasn't a little bit forward, he would have gotten like 3 tank shots to the face on those Marines before realizing.
He would have lost like a fourth of his Marines easily.
Yeah, that was nice guesswork from Semper. The Raven, the Vikings, how did you find him?
Just put a point defense store down to get 2 auto turrets. Make the compromise. Yes, I love auto turret harass.
Not the best. And honestly, I'm not even sure you want to lose the Raven, but again, these players have not really been focusing on the air control despite one person getting it. Like, they'll have 2 more Vikings.
This tank positioning. This tank positioning is going to be really nice if he can get a foothold here. But this is pretty big if, because we know those tanks, of course, pre-positioned here out of Semper as well. Picking up a drop of these medevacs, trying to break this front line. Marine's starting to go down, but the tank's also starting to dwindle as well. And looks like Semper should be able to hold this.
Yeah, what a wash. Like, both players get out of there with the limited amount of Marines, and I guess Semper saved both tanks. Or Beastyqt only saved one, but they're pretty low. Repair those.
Those Marines didn't just go down and fight. They went YOLO through the main. Comes to SCVs on the way out. But I mean, good choice.
Pay attention! Upgrades are going to be ahead for Semper. He did invest into the double engineering bay. And the armory is also well timed. Well enough timed. Oh, trying to get those last 2 tanks that were so low. He really does need to repair those. They're slowly getting repaired. Hey! Oh, well, never mind. You should be able to repair tanks when they're in medevac.
You were going to ask if you put the SCV in there, weren't you?
Yeah, but I was like, you should be able to repair them when they're, like, hanging. Same with Thors.
Yeah, I mean, maybe... No, actually, they're too high, because the medevacs are supposed to be in space, right?
We'll just have them lower a little bit. Like a crank, right? Like, we just get lower to the
Well, this goes to my whole point of, like, things that can only shoot down should be able to go higher in the atmosphere and shoot the air units that are below them. That's
true. Oh, this is a big drop. The Viking catches wind of it, but Beastyqt or Semper was already kind of moving out. So he gets a pretty and nicely secured position behind the supply depots.
Yeah, but here to respond with those tanks dropping in. I mean, I can't begin like this. These sort of drops like this in Heart of the Swarm are almost game ending because you can't engage this correctly. But with being able to maneuver tanks and just have them pre-deployed like that, I love the way it changes up the matchup in such a huge way too. That's not a small thing.
Yeah. It's so action-packed though, and just like God, catching up, keeping up with everything is really. It's a lot more to keep up with in Legacy of the Void. Basically, no matter what race you play, just a lot more to do and a lot more to consider. But people are still figuring everything out, so I'm sure that affects it as well. The upgrades did not start immediately for Semper, a bit of an oversight here. So where he had the upgrade leader, could have had it, he is now a little bit behind. The weapons also being neglected. I think they were neglected last map too for Semper. Getting a 4th base already. I mean, you do have a lot of money. Again, that adrenaline rush is only starting to wear off as you've gotten your 3 bases. But it's quite bold to think about securing a 4th base, especially an orbital shipyard. Like the 4ths aren't exactly a given.
Oh, they're so freaking far. This one's either way off in the middle of nowhere. This one's got back rocks you gotta go through to get to it. It's not fun times for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where I think he's gonna put it behind the rock. This is where most people prefer to put it. It is closer, and not like on like a little like ledge like the other one is. But it does. It means that like suddenly your main ramp to your production and your third and your main and whatnot, that's wide open while you're protecting the left side. So it really does split you, and probably favors the aggressor. As we can see here, it's already kind of happening. Now the back rocks aren't broken down. He'll probably okay. What's up to? Okay, or that. Oh, just 2 minutes. Oh, he's gonna be able to clean this up, but the drops... Yes, there are drops. I don't know where I was stalling. The drops are gonna go to the natural now. Couple missile turrets. That's gonna be enough. These medevacs are already weak.
Yeah, BC's gonna have to deal with a counterattack too if Semper picks up on it, but he is busy defending at home. And we gotta quickly rally some Marines into it. Shouldn't be too big of a problem.
God, looks like the medevacs already went down for Beastyqt, and his harass is not working out. He's not getting that foothold that he got last game, where when he was the aggressor, he really took control of the game because, you know, for a second, Semper wasn't thinking about picking up his tanks. You know, that second really cost him control. In this game, he's been on top of things. He's been carrying his tanks and the medevacs. He's been able to reply with any tank drop with his own tank drop. And it's working out. He's taking a supply lead.
So I noticed the stream delay and all that. Everyone's like, Rifkin, well, how do SCVs repair medevacs then? Rifkin, how do SCVs repair battlecruisers then? And the obvious answer is with special tools, guys, that are obviously configured differently for air units than ground units, so the tank hanging there can't be repaired by the same equipment. You don't just use one screwdriver to repair everything. You need different sizes. Come on, get your heads out of the gutter.
Out of the gutter? Is it like a sexual battlecruiser thing, or?
No, well, no. Get your heads out of your ass? I don't know. Which sounds better?
Don't they both mean completely different things and also not the thing you're thinking of?
No.
It's get your head in the game for when you're not thinking right. It's get your head out of the gutter if you're being lewd. And it's get your head out of your ass when, like, you're being, like...
Like, what's the thing ostriches do? Get your head out of the sand. We'll go with that one, right?
That's for being ignorant. Wow,
there you go.
So weird.
These guys are being ignorant. They don't know how repairs work for SCVs. There you go. You're being ignorant. All right, we got a big attack up down the middle of the map. Looks like it's gonna be Beastyqt TV time on Beastyqt time on Beastyqt TV. I fucked that up, but whatever.
He did.
I think it's looking a little bit better for BC, but at the same time, it's gonna be really tight if they just both go for it. Semper's playing a little bit more reluctant. He's got more tanks, so more potential damage, but BC's already on top of the production. If Semper doesn't go quick, BC's gonna be able to get a couple of tanks up in the main. A lot of Marines already bulked up here. Thank God for that missile turret. Kill those medevacs! Just kidding.
This is, I mean, it's both of them are going to lose the production. It might just come down to...
Ooh, where are those Vikings for Beastie? Oh, man, he could have brought those over a long time ago.
And the Marines are probably going to be able to take them down now.
So it is full on base trade mode. Ace 1, Ace 2 in chat if you got it, guys. And the question is, who's going to come out of this alive? Army supplies honestly don't look that different. It is a huge tank lead, though, for Semper. So if it does end up being like some sort of head-on engagement, I think Semper takes the fight. But that's the point of a base trade. You're not taking a head-on engagement. You're fighting each other on opposite sides of the map.
That's so funny. They're on equal upgrades, including the tank. Semper tries to get 3-3 started, hoping that maybe they won't go down. They'll finish. That's a big hope as the Marines are there.
I like that BC already set up like a fuck this contingency. I like the start.
Well, you know.
It's actually smart. Like, I'm not making a joke. That's a really smart move.
No, but I was gonna say, like, you brought up the Vikings. They would have been useful to tear down the medevacs when they had an opportunity to, but I think he realized he shouldn't use them. Oh, you should save them. Oh, please save them. No! Okay, never mind.
You were
saying? I was gonna say,
sorry?
The actual end game you win is by, like, you know, being able to, or, well, you could draw, I should say, is that, you know, you have air control and they don't. So,
sneaky bugger.
If he had kept those Vikings alive, he would have guaranteed himself a draw, maybe? I don't know if he's be able to break this planetary.
No, planetary's actually going to buy a lot of time. Marines still cleaning up what's going on here in the main. Nothing else to really lift off running on the map with. Marines darting down here. There's a planetary on this side as well.
I don't know why they're run up against the mineral line with the veracity. Stupid.
They try to dive around and get on top.
What are you doing, SCVs?
I think Beastie's got this, though. Like, Beastie's got an actual foothold on the game. Marines, though, if they get thrown away like this, might not be the case.
I don't think so. Yeah, because he just lost a big chunk of the army supply. It was even, now it's down. The tank count was always going to play such a huge factor.
God, those Vikings. Where are the Vikings?
You know, it's going to come down to you have spaces to hide your buildings.
Oh,
Whoever
Jesus,
can get a Viking.
If this ends up being a stalemate, I'm going to... One
I don't
SCV
think.
for Semper. If Beastyqt kills this one SCV, Semper can't reach his buildings at all. Beastyqt, on the other hand, started to build some cloaked banshees, and you know what's coming up? There's not going to be any detection at all.
Oh my.
He's just got to get unsupply blocked before it. Oh, he doesn't know see the main! He doesn't see the
Oh, the medevacs are gonna see it if they just join up with the rest of the Marines, but then they backed off.
Oh, that's awkward as hell. Builds a
my
ton
God.
of depots to try and get unsupply blocked. Looks like he will get one Banshee out. But I don't know, like, one Banshee, okay, sure. Like, there's going to be medevacs healing the Marines. It's not going to take them down very quickly. He's going to straight up need a Viking. Does he recognize this, though?
He's looking for the orbital command. He is looking and
Oh,
he is
jeez.
missing it.
Is under attack.
Beastie. Cheese
It's
and
gonna take
crackers.
1 millisecond to kill that SCV, who's so low on health. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we do have the big attack coming. Semper's got a lot more tanks than Beastie. This is still the case. I don't know if Beastie can take the fight, but he tries to get on top of this. Focusing down the tanks, takes some really good initial shots, but the Marines on top of the tanks annihilate Beastie's tank count. And Beastie's gonna have one Banshee.
The commander's gonna finish. It's gonna finish. He's enough minerals to make him an orbital. Like, he'll have a scan.
Well, he's about a depot, several of them first.
Oh, that's true. Well, and he still has an orbital, though, so as long as the...
Why do there's Raxes over here? But this orbital is actually huge, because, yeah, now there's detection for that one Banshee.
I think
up to the middle of nowhere.
Beastyqt can't do anything.
This is so dumb. This is so dumb on so many different levels.
Beastyqt is going to ask, do you have an orbital? Well, he doesn't have to ask, right? Because he hasn't been revealed. He knows he's lost. He's just trying to figure out what he can do.
Can you imagine, like, this game, if he didn't get that orbital, if he killed that one last SCV that had, like, 4 health or whatever, I mean, Jesus. Yeah, it probably ends up being a draw, but this time, I think it's a loss. I think Semper's going to take the series 3-2. There's 2 Banshees, and that's a lot of damage, but there is going to be a single scan, and even if he uses a Mule right away, right? BC doesn't do enough damage with 2 Banshees before the scan's off cooldown again.
Yeah, plus with the medevacs available, you can avoid them. The Banshee, you can just leave.
yeah, exactly. Just pick up and get the fuck out of there. Waiting for the scan.
If he hadn't revealed it, he might have used that Mule, like you said, and gotten something done, but there's nothing you can do. Like, it's a pickup, you know, like even pick up this tank, pick up the tank, pick up the tank. You don't even have to. You don't have to. But...
Oh, you know what? Actually, Semper can't build any SCV.
Well, yeah, and yeah.
GG.
So,
we know
like, it would have taken
funny.
forever, but he would have won.
What a close finish, ladies and gentlemen. Semper will take the series 3-2 and be the champion of this best of 5. I don't think I saw that coming down the way it was going to. I didn't expect it to be an ace match in the first place, but that's a really good way to finish up the series. That's a really great way to finish up day number 1. Even Naruto from TaKeTV says, crazy games. GG, see you guys next week. Yeah, I have to agree.